This signal works. You're now watching Shaw Goods TV. No script, no schedule, just me. Alright, so we're rocking a hat today because the wig is looking way too crazy. But the other day I posted a video on here and I was talking about the time I accidentally ran from the police. And I wasn't being chased, but in that video I was talking about my car at the time, Double D. And that got me to thinking that car was my ride or die. Like, when I had that car, I went through so much. Some of the roughest times in my entire fucking life was in that car. And at the end, you know, he got charged off, impounded. I never got to say goodbye, like, officially. He was just with me one day and gone the next. Never forgot him. After that period of my life, I got my shit together, because it wasn't that I hadn't ever had my shit together, but I had broken up with my son's dad after years long relationship. And you guys don't know that story yet, but trust me, it was a lot. And so when I came out of that situation, it was really important to me to never get in that situation again. And so I made it a point to, like, do better than what I had been doing. Not that I was doing terrible to begin with, but I could have been doing better. And that was the goal. And so I did do better. And I, eventually got my license and my car situations ironed out and yada, yada, yada. And at some point I moved away from Connecticut, where I was living when I had that car. And my boyfriend that I was with when I was away from Connecticut bought me a vehicle. That led to so much shit, bro. I ended up returning the vehicle to him, and I went back to Connecticut, and I said, never again will I allow myself to be in a situation where I have to depend on somebody else to help me get a car. And I didn't need him to get me a car. I had a car at the time, but the car I wanted, he helped me get. Now, of course, he falsely or fraudulently sued me. More on that later. But I gave him the car back before he sued me. He sued me because I gave him the car back. And I moved back home, and I just said I was going to make sure my shit was together. I was going to be able to I was going to fix my credit where I didn't have to worry about shit like that again. And I did. I worked hard as hell on my credit for like a year, cleared every account, had things disputed, joined a credit monitoring group, like did all these things, like worked hard as fuck. And before you know it, my credit scores was, I had never made it officially to 800, but I was really close across the board. Like I was high 700s on all my scores. Okay, cool. Needed a car. The car I had at the time was paid for, but it was not going to be able to pass emissions, and so I couldn't re-register it. So like, it was kind of fake registered, but it was pending getting repairs done to it. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just go see if I can get a car, because I need a car. And I was also on medical leave at the time from work, so I was barely employed. But long story short, I researched, and I knew what kind of car I wanted. I wanted another Tahoe, or I wanted an Armada. The Tahoes at the time, for the year I was looking for the price I was looking to spend, Tahoes had ridiculous amounts of miles on them, and it just didn't make sense. I was like, I ain't paying for this. And the Armada just seemed like a better buy. It was a little bit more expensive than some of the Tahoes I looked at, but it held the value longer based on my research. Like, I researched the fuck out of this, and for the first time in my life, I went down to a dealership, not just any dealership. I went down to the dealership that had the car that I saw, that I knew I wanted, and I was like, I want this car. Test drove it, liked it, ran the paperwork, and for the first time again, I got the lowest interest rate I had ever had in my life of owning cars. I had never had an interest rate less than 20%. And so let me stop here and say this real quick, because a lot of times people, you ruin your credit as a teenager and then you suffer the consequences. Like, I know a lot of people who, as soon as they got 18, they got credit cards in the mail and things like that, and they got maybe a phone in their name, da 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 da. I didn't have terrible credit. I had no credit. And when I got with my ex, he took advantage of the fact that I had no credit. He had terrible credit. And everything was put in my name. Most of that stuff I took care of, but cell phone accounts, old insurance bills, and things like that. That was mostly all I had on my credit. I had no credit card debt. Just a bunch of old stupid fucking bills, like cable bills, that sort of thing, utilities. It was mostly utilities, like, swear to God. Never got like catalog accounts, like didn't do any of that shit. And while I ended up buying cars, I bought like, the cars I bought, like I got good deals on them. So my bad credit was just the result of that type shit. It wasn't that I was reckless and had been living la vida loca and just irresponsible with money. Could I be more responsible with money and saving? Yes, but I wasn't really irresponsible. I've actually been pretty practical all my life because of how I grew up. So being able to go into the dealership and be like, hey, I want this car, not pay anything down, get the lowest rate I've ever gotten in my life, and walking out with spending the money I wanted to spend on a car was amazing. And then when you add on the fact that this car had every single thing I wanted, it checked every single box because I spent all that time researching and making sure. And I rolled out, and that was my baby. I named him Geoffrey immediately, with a G, not a J. Me and Geoffrey, we were off. Now, there were some things that were going on, and I do believe that there were some issues Geoffrey had underlying that they didn't tell me about, but I did my due diligence and did everything I was supposed to do to figure all that out. And so it was lit. It was amazing. I showed up, I dropped my son off that morning to college in one car, picked him up later that day in a brand new car. Well, not brand new, but a new, amazing car in comparison, right? It was the best day I had had in a long time in terms of things like that, like financial goals being achieved. I felt so proud of myself. Like, bitch, you did what you had to do for your credit. I had credit cards. I had never had credit cards. My apartment that I had leased, I was able to lease with a special rate because of such good credit. Like, it was lit. Now, I mentioned when I got Geoffrey, I was on medical leave from my job. I never went back to that job. Not only did I never go back to that job, but shortly after that, like, I got Geoffrey, I think it was the end of November or the beginning of November, because I think I got him technically kind of for my birthday. So my birthday is the end of October. So I got him the beginning of November, and by, I think, that next January, COVID is starting to do numbers. By March, country shut down. So I never go back to the main job. And then on top of that, my part-time job that I had, that was pretty much all but gone because of what was going on with COVID. So, like, from the time I got my car, I pretty much didn't have a job. And then for the next 5 or 6 years since I've gotten that car, I've been pretty much mostly unemployed. I've been employed, but there was definitely some periods of unemployment. The longest periods of unemployment I've experienced in my life. I'm going to say if it's 5 years I had the car, 3 of those years I was probably mostly unemployed. And that's been tough. But my car has gotten me through everything. Like, I've been through a lot of stuff, and no matter what, I can always depend on my car. I can jump in my car. I can go. I can leave the state. I can leave the city. Whatever I need to do. My sons need me. Okay, I'm on the way. Like, my car is my everything. I moved up and down this damn coast with this car. I've been through some of the most traumatic relationships in my life with this car. This is my car. This is my baby. And even though I went through so much more in Double D, it's the same type of vibe. Like, I could always depend on my car. Double D was so neglected by me because I was homeless and dealing with all this stuff, and it never let me down. It never left me stranded. Never did any of that. And so when I was moving down south in 2023, the very beginning of 2023, I went to get my car serviced. I always do a really good job of getting my car's maintenance and service. And when I went to do it, they told me, they was like, you have a crack in your differential. What? First of all, I don't even really know 1,000% what the differential is. Like, kind of know, but kind of don't know. And I realized really quickly how significant of a repair that was going to be. And I was literally leaving the next day to drive down south. And I left because what the fuck, I had to go. Like, I had been planning for months. Like, my apartment was packed up. I had to leave. So I drove down south, made it, no issues. And when I considered, everything, that crack could have been in that differential for God knows how long. Like, ain't no telling how long it was there. So, all right. Got it down to my uncle. My uncle checked it out. My uncle was a 42-year veteran. He was a diesel. My uncle's a diesel mechanic in the Army, and so if anybody I trust in my car, it's him. And so he looked at it, he was like, okay, yeah, you do have a crack. It's really small, there's no oil forming, it's not dripping, you're good. You're gonna need to get it fixed or get a new car, but for now, you're good. And I drove on that car for another 2 years, just like that. Yes, I know it's an issue, but I was also unemployed. What am I going to do about it? And so I did everything else I could take care of, but always knew that was going on. Well, fast forward, I eventually get a job. I move states again. I come to Georgia. Once again, my car is there for me. I moved all my stuff in my car. When my car's top carrier, like my car, I need my car because my car is always there for me. And came here. Things were going well for a bit. At some point, I started having battery issues, which was something that had been going on. Long story short, I took the advice of somebody who I just listened to somebody I should not have listened to, and instead of doing what I knew I needed to do for my car, I tried to avoid it because of the advice I got, and my car broke down on the side of the highway. As expected, because I knew the fuck what I needed to have been doing anyway. The car breaks down. That was January of this year, and without going through all the specific details, the car has never really been up and running since. I lost my job. I got laid off end of March. First week of April, my car breaks down. It technically did not break down. I just stopped driving it because it was making such a loud noise and I didn't know what was happening. It has not been looked at. I took it to a Goodyear that's nearby, and they said, based on the sounds it's making and the brief history I gave them, it's more than likely the differential got damaged when it got towed, when it broke down on the side of the highway, because that's when all the stuff started. Once it got towed off the highway, from the time I got it back, it was never right. And so the car has just been parked, and the crazy thing about the car is old. Like, it's 12 years old. I bought it 5 years old. Wait, when I bought it was like 6 years old, and I've had it for 5 or 6 years. And as embarrassed as I am to say, it still has a payment on it because I've been unemployed. Well, first of all, I did a longer payment on it because when I got the car, I knew I was unemployed. I wanted to keep my payments as low as possible. I needed a car, but I technically couldn't really afford a car in that moment. I just had good credit. And so I opted for a longer contract or term because lower payments. Well, I thought I did 5 years. I guess I wasn't paying attention or I forgot. I did 7. And so now we're here, 6 or 7. I know I'm in the last bit of, like, this is the last year the car would have notes. But the car has been late. It's been fucking late this entire time because I barely had a job this whole time. So it's like, oh, God. I've been fighting for the last 5 years to hold on to this car because I need it so much, right? Even when I didn't have it, I was giving my all to do whatever I can do to keep this car. And I get all the way to the end where it's nearly done, and I have to say, I got to give up the car. So it's not just that the car has been broken down this entire year. We're now headed to September. So the car has been broken down for the last 9 months. I've still been maintaining payments up until like maybe, I forget the last time I made a payment, but it's about to be charged off. Like it's they send me notices about repossessions and things like that. And normally I would be going crazy trying to figure out how to keep this car. And I'm finally just like, let it go. Let it go. And let me tell you why this is hard for me. The car is like, it's symbolic. It's not just my car, it's just not my transportation. It's my way out. Anytime I'm in a situation that I don't want to be in anymore, but I feel like something doesn't work out, I pack up my fucking car and I go. I leave. And I think the thing that's tough now about not having my car is I can't just leave. But I think that's it. I think that's what's supposed to happen. I think I'm supposed to be sitting still. I think I'm supposed to be sitting still and not running away. I'm about to cry. I think I'm supposed to be sitting still and not running away. And it's not that I don't face my problems. I do face my problems. But I am a track star. I am a track star. But not like, oh, I got to get away from this. It's more of a, I don't like this. Let's change it. Let's go do something different. And different is not bad, but sometimes, sometimes that haste makes for motherfucking waste later on down the road. And so I've had to learn in the last 2 years, it's been the toughest fucking lesson. Toughest lesson is to be more patient, to ask for help more, to be more receptive of help, and to just know things will work out and not try to make them work out quicker, because a lot of times that causes all these problems. But bro, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. My heart is broken. That's my baby. It's Geoffrey. He's got me through some shit. And I can't, like, right now I haven't seen my sons in like almost 3 years because I couldn't depend on my car. Well, one, I was broke. I was unemployed. And beyond that, has it been 3 years? April 24, April 25. April of 26 will be 3 years. So it's not as long as I was thinking in my mind, but still, it's a long fucking time. But I couldn't depend on my car to go see them. And like right now, if something happens, one of my sons calls me and they're like, Mommy, come here. I can't get there to them. That's huge for me. Driving is my release. I'm actually one of those people that loves to drive. I'm the driver. Where we going? I'm driving. Both because I always have the biggest car and because I love to drive. It's where I think. It's like a shower, but on the road. So not being able to just jump in my truck and go for a fucking ride, bro. Like, yes, I have access to a car here that I can use, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. It's not the same. Like, literally, I have my own keys to that car, but it's not the same. My car has all my stuff. It has my things. It's very personal. So that's one of the biggest and toughest things I'm dealing with right now when it comes to financially speaking. And then also, now that I'm just gonna let it go to the wayside, that's gonna impact my credit. This year, I kept my credit together, surprisingly, until this year. This year, for the first time, I have collections accounts again. I didn't have that. I like my credit scores have tanked in the last 6 months. My credit cards, I'm gonna try to keep hold of them, but like, bro, it's rough. And my car was just the final, like, fuck, man. Geoffrey, y'all taking Geoffrey? And like, I'm saying they're gonna take it. They're probably never gonna fucking find the car. It's just sitting in the driveway. I'm not hiding it. It's just sitting in the driveway. And, you know, the goal was always to get a job soon. And then, like, right now, best case scenario, out of nowhere, I get, you know, some money to pay it down to keep it from being charged off. But then even if I did that, once that's done, then I gotta get it fixed, and that repair is probably gonna be like $3K or more. And since it's been sitting for the last 9 months, I went into it the other day to grab something. There was mold on the carpets, and then there's a backpack in there that had mold all over it. So that tells me that somehow moisture has probably been getting inside. So it's like, it's time. Like, I gotta let it go. And yes, it's gonna be a bitch with my credit. My insurance is lapsed. It's gonna be a bitch getting reinsured again. And now I'm gonna have that huge bill on my credit, and I fought so long to avoid that. But I think this is the thing. I think I have to let it go. It's just, at the beginning of this year, I said I wanted a better job and I wanted a better car. I think this is just the way things are gonna go for me to get those things that I want. So this is basically like my public video, pour one out for my homie, because I ain't never think Geoffrey's gonna leave me like this, bro. Like, tough. It's tough. But I love him, and I don't know. I guess I'll start a new memory with the next car. Hopefully it's another Tahoe. I do want another Tahoe. If I don't get a Tahoe, it means I'm gonna downgrade. People ask me all the time, why you still drive this big ass trucks? Because that's what I like. I just like big trucks. I'm a big girl. So I like driving big trucks. I feel safe. I like, and in cars, I'm way too aggressive. As a driver of a car, super aggressive. So I don't like, I'll end up with tickets or in jail. Or worse, fucking dead somewhere. So I prefer the cars. But if I don't get a Tahoe, and I say I want another Tahoe because it could very well work out where I see a car that's not a Tahoe, but it's still all the stuff I like. Like, I would do another Expedition. I really would do a Sequoia, and I really would do an Escalade, but I ain't up there. But if I would do one of those cars, it's more than likely, which low-key, I was looking at the Armadas. The Armadas are probably the easiest thing to get into right now with Nissan's reputation, but if not any of those, it's definitely going to be like a Audi Q5, one of those little crossover things. I don't know, but shout out to my boy Geoffrey. I'm gonna love him forever, and even though I still don't know officially what's gonna happen with him, I know it's probably he's gonna be leaving me, and I just wanted to talk about it. It's like therapy. You've been watching Shawgood's TV. Too real to rehearse. Too real to hide.
Protocol breach.
Installing
Installing
truth
slash
extract.
extracting core values.
Loading
Operating at full clarity.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Shawgood's